Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today, and today the Oklahoma City Thunder beat the Indiana Pacers 123-107 in Game 2 to tie the series up at 1-1. Big win for OKC. You could not go down 0-2 in this series going to Indianapolis, and now the momentum shifts in this series up, as Indiana was up 1-0, and now it's a tie series 1-1. But, look, it's going to be easy for Indiana to try to gain momentum back going home for Game 3 of this series. And this is something I will note right here is that, OKC has not done too well so far in these playoffs in Game 3s. In that first game of the series, where the series changes cities. Like you look in the first round, against Memphis, they did win Game 3, and they came back from like a 32 point deficit, but they were down 31 points in the first half. Ja Morant got hurt, misses the whole second half. Thunder come back and win. Then you look at what happened in Game 3 in the Nuggets series. The Nuggets beat the Thunder in overtime. Then you can go to obviously Game 3 last series against Minnesota. That's the only win Minnesota got, and it was just a butt whooping. That was OKC's worst loss of these playoffs. And so OKC just has not done a great job in Game 3s in these postseason. So that's why I would lean to Indiana to play better. And I think for a couple reasons. Look, turnovers have been a real bad problem these last two games of this series. 39 turnovers so far in these two games. Look, they've done a solid job from 3-point shooting, over 45% from three in the last game, 14 for 40 in this game. But there are some guys that you're waiting on that breakout game. Like Tyrese Haliburton hasn't had it yet. Pascal Siakam hasn't had it yet. I'm not saying the Pacers are going to win this series, because I still would look at the Thunder winning this series in 6 or 7 games. But at the same time, I would put my money on the Pacers in Game 3. But if you ask me who I'm still putting my money on for this series, it is the Oklahoma City Thunder. And you saw that tonight with the performance they had. You knew they were going to come out strong with the way they had that collapse in the fourth quarter of Game 1, and you saw it tonight. And they had a great performance. Chet Holmgren wasn't that great after the first quarter, but he had a bright first quarter. He had 9 points in the first quarter, finished with 15. Alex Caruso was outstanding. Aaron Wiggins was outstanding. Of course, Shai was outstanding. So they just got good production from a lot of their guys. Jalen Williams is fantastic as well tonight, and so just a great performance from these guys tonight to bounce back. And I'm gonna switch sides real quick to the Indiana Pacers. I look at Tyrese Haliburton. He's got to be better. You look at when he was shooting the basketball tonight. He was good. He was 7 for 13, 3 for 8 from 3. Don't let that 17 points being the leading scorer of his team fool you. Yeah, he had 17 points, but he had like 5 or 4 going into the fourth quarter. He had a really nice fourth quarter where, he made some shots in the fourth quarter where it was way too late, though. So he needs to be more aggressive. He needs to be better. I know Haliburton is a pass-first guy. He had 6 assists tonight. It was 6 assists in the last game. He's a great facilitator. He looks for the shooter before he looks for his own shot. He looks for the pass before he looks for the shot. But if you're Tyrese Haliburton going back to Indianapolis, maybe it's time you need to look for more of your own shots than looking for, other shooters. Because here's one thing I will say. Yes, Haliburton is a great passer, but look at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Look at Jalen Williams. The Thunder's second option had one more field goal attempt than the Pacers' number one option did tonight, Tyrese Haliburton. That's another huge thing right there. Shai had 8 more field goal attempts than Tyrese Haliburton. You look how aggressive Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is being. If Haliburton was struggling, I would say, okay, don't be that aggressive. I know at one point he was 2 for 7, and then he finished 5 for 6 in his last 6 shot attempts. But you've got to be more aggressive if you're Tyrese Haliburton. I look at the last series against the New York Knicks. There's not a game that the Pacers win in that series, in those 4 wins in that Knicks series, where Halliburton's not being aggressive and Halliburton's not playing well. And the 2 losses that they did have, Halliburton's not playing well and he's not being aggressive. And the last game we saw was the first game really where, really the first game we've seen where they win a game. It was the first time game 1 was the first time they've won a game, in these playoffs since the Cavs series where Halliburton's not being aggressive. Halliburton's not, being as aggressive as he should be. And I think you need to see that from him going back to Indy. But, and then obviously Miles Turner, I think, was great tonight. 16 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 6 for 12 from the floor, 1 for 5 from 3. It was killing his mid-range shots tonight. Pascal Siakam, tough night for him. 3 for 11, was able to get to the free throw line tonight and did a great job with the free throw line, 8 for 9, but 15 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists for Siakam. You need him to be better. Aaron Nesmith, I thought was great in this game, 14 points. Andrew Nembhard, started off hot, but then kind of cooled off. 11, 4, and 4, 3 steals for Nembhard. Halliburton had 17, 6, like I mentioned. Off the bench, they did have 11 points from Benedict Mathurin, 14 from Mathurin, and 11 from T.J. McConnell, who had another 3 tonight. Like I mentioned, this was you just had a unbelievable game from Shai Alexander. 34 points, 8 assists, 11 for 21, 1 for 4 from 3, 11 for 12 from the free throw line. It was like the first time in the last 4 games for Shai where he doesn't hit 2 threes. 19 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists for Jalen Williams. 15 points for Chet Holmgren with 6 rebounds, and also 1 assist for Chet. Then off the bench, like I mentioned, great performances. Alex Caruso had 20 points, 3 rebounds, 18 points for Aaron Wiggins. Here's the crazy thing. For the let's start with the Pacers. For the Indiana Pacers, they did not have a single player that reached 18 or more points tonight. For the Oklahoma City Thunder, they had 4. That is a big difference. So sure, maybe the Pacers have 7 players in double figures and the Thunder only have 5. But the Thunder have 4 players with 18 or more, and the Pacers have 0. And that's you need more. That's a big reason why I say you need Tyrese Halliburton to be more aggressive. You need Pascal Siakam to shoot better and not shoot the way he did tonight, shooting 3 for 11. But like I said, Caruso was outstanding, 4 for 8 from 3. Aaron Wiggins was even better from 3, 5 for 8 from 3. And the Thunder were great defensively tonight again. 10 steals tonight, 4 blocks, and, over 15 turnovers for the Pacers, and like I said, just now 39 turnovers in these first 2 games of this series. So, I think going into this game 3, what the Pacers need to do, like I said, is Halliburton needs to be more aggressive. And I would also say that, Pascal Siakam needs to be more efficient. Maybe another guy who might need to be more aggressive is Andrew Nembhard. He shot 50% from the floor tonight, only took 8 shot attempts. Miles Turner as well. See a lot. Their starters, a lot of them, outside of Siakam, I thought all their starters outside of Siakam played great tonight. 3 for 11. Nesmith was near 50% on 12 attempts. Turner was 50% on 12 attempts. Nembhard was 50% on 8 attempts. Halliburton was well over 50% on 13 attempts. All 4 of those guys played well and shot well, but just you didn't get enough shot attempts from them. You had Obi Toppin shoot 8 field goal attempts and go 1 for 8. Look, I trust your shot, and especially with the way he played the last game, but if the shots aren't going to fall early for Obi Toppin, shouldn't be shooting the ball if you're 1 for 8. Once you're 1 for 5 or 1 for 6, stop shooting the basketball. But I get McConnell and Madrid. They've been great in these playoffs and continue to be great again tonight. But I think you've got to try to get more shots for some of the guys in your starting lineup that were great tonight. And I'm talking about Turner, Nembhard, Halliburton, Nesmith, and potentially Siakam if he can play better. So, but yeah, Let me know your thoughts on this win for the Thunder winning game 2. I'm predicting the Pacers win game 3, but I'm going to go ahead and say then the Thunder win the next 2 games after that. I'm going to say the Pacers win game 6, and we see the Thunder win this series in 7. Right now, I would say the Thunder win this series in 7, but we'll see what happens. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and peace out.